welcome to this new series of the generative AI. Okay, so again, I would request to like and subscribe the channel so that whenever you have the future videos, you'll get it. Even if it will, keep me motivated to create such videos. Okay, let's start with what is the artificial intelligence. It is the technology that enables computers to mimic the human intelligence and learning. That means artificial intelligence, if you see the basics, right? It is like teaching computers to think and learn instead of following the strict instructions. Okay, so AI system can learn from examples. It can make decisions based on the data, improve over time, and recognize patterns human may miss. Okay, but if you remember, like in case of the automation, we are giving the strict instructions to the our code that if x equal to this, y equal to this, do this, do that. But in case of the AI, it learns from the example. It makes the decision which it is trained on, that is the based on the data, and it keep on improving over time. It recognize the pattern the human may miss. Okay, so like we need lot of data to train it, and it keeps on learning. So how the AI generally works? Like the first phase is the data collection, because you see in the left side you see that it learns from the data. So the very first thing is the data collection. It gathers the information from the world. Okay, then learning. It tries to find the patterns in the data. Okay, then the decision making, right? It will use those patterns to make some choices. Then adaptation, like improving the decision over time. Let's see kind of the real world example, right? When you email, when you have the your email feature, right? It sorts the spam automatically to your phone. Okay, recognizes your like it the spam automatically in the mailbox. You can see it is moving to the spam ones, right? And your phone also automatically recognizes your face ID. Okay, now for this processing of the data that we see, like collection of data, processing, learning, you can think like a child learning to recognize the animals. Like for see many examples, they learn the pattern like four legs, and finally if they see a new animal, they will try to guess based upon what they have learned before. Okay, now the question comes like why to use AI? Okay, then when we need it. Okay, so mostly if you go for the benefits of the AI, so it comes with the very high speed. Okay, it processes vast amount of data in second. Its accuracy, it reduces the human error in repetitive tasks. Okay, but you cannot say that it is 100% accurate. Like it is still evolving, it is still learning from the data. Okay, so whatever content is getting generated with the help of AI, that also need to be verified whether it is actually correct or not. Okay, then availability, which works 24/7 without getting tired. Then we can use it in the field of the automation for more creative work. Okay, now uh, where we can use it more valuable tasks. Okay, whenever we have some complex tasks, right? When we have some repetitive tasks, when we need to do the stuff very fast. Okay, when the data is too heavy. Some of the examples you can say, right? The morning, the personal assistant, right? Your smart speaker always wakes you up, okay? Tells you the weather and reads your calendar, all using AI. Then the commute, the navigation, the traffic pattern, when it is most busiest way, where it's least traffic way, we can able to find out. Okay, now types of the AI, there will be kind of by capability, by functionality, but we can go to the next one, the generative AI versus the traditional AI. We see what is the AI is. Now what is generative AI? Okay, traditional AI, it recognizes the pattern and makes prediction. Okay, but generative AI, it creates new content that never existed before. Okay, for the traditional AI, the processing is like it takes the input, analyzes and classifies or predict. Okay, for the generative AI, it takes the input, it understands. Okay, then it creates something new out of this. Okay, and that direction you can say from many possibility to one answer, and here from one input to many possible creation. Okay, if you see the example between the traditional AI and the generative AI, it determining if an email is a spam, right? It will be taking multiple, like it will be trained, it will be taking multiple analysis, and it will find out it will be spam only. Then recognizing the faces in the photo, then predicting the stock prices and diagnosing the diseases from symptoms. But if we go for the generative AI, it is kind of writing a story or poem. Okay, creating, that is something generating new, the new content, right? Creating the artwork from a description and composition, or composing the music, right? Then, if you see here the key differences, the traditional AI is like a detective who can identify what something is. Okay, and the generative AI is like an artist who can create something new based on what it has learned. Okay, so if you see here, right, this identify this is a mountain, it draws a mountain for me. Okay, now, mostly we'll be covering the generative AI in our day-to-day task. So, okay, mostly in our QA directed journey, we'll be using the generative AI. Let's go and check more deeper into the generative AI. Okay, so what we see, the generative AI, it creates the new content. Okay, it creates kind of the text, it can be images, it can be the audio, it can be the code based on the pattern. Okay, it learns from the existing data. Okay, now if the right side, if I write like sunset over mountain, it will be generating the image for me. You can see, right, it has generated an image for me when I write the sunset over mountain. You see, there are, it is trying to generate different kind of images, right? For one single input I am getting multiple output. Okay, now we see how generative AI is also trained like massive data set. Then it learns the pattern by studying millions of the example. Then model is refined and it will be available via API or through different kind of application. You might have heard about the ChatGPT and Gemini. So where we write something and we provide that the output. Okay, so if we see how we can use the generative AI in the software engineering, mostly for the code generation, for the debugging assistant, for the documentation. Okay, even if writing the user story from the HLD. If you see a simple example here, I want to create a function that sorts an array of numbers. So when I will be asking to the generative AI, it is going to generate a function that does job for me. Okay, I'll verify it and I will use it my program there. And if you think, if I need to write it manually, it might have taken some time for me, but in a single go it is generating the whole code with the example and with all the details that I can use it in a single go. Now, there may be another term you might be hearing about, the agentic AI. Okay, the generative AI is something that responds to the prompt to the generated content. Okay, and it is kind of the singleton interaction. You write it, you get the output. Okay, it is just passive in the sense that it will wait for the human guidance. For example, you want to go to any website. Okay, you want to book the ticket, so you have to type it. Okay, generate write some website that books the ticket. Okay, then you have to again write it like which is the from right, having the website having the discount. So for every step you have to do the conversation with the generative AI. Okay, and it is limited to generating the text or images. But if we come to the agentic AI, it is kind of the autonomous action to achieve our goal. Okay, it plans and executes multi-step processes. It uses tools and APIs to interact with systems. It learns from feedback and improves. It makes decisions without human intervention. In future sessions also will be going more deeper, and we'll be creating one of the agent. Like, let's look at the demo, right? How we see above, we see for some time that how the generative AI generates the images for me. Now let's see how the agentic AI works for me. Like, I have given that book a flight, check the weather at the destination, and create the itinerary. If you see here, it has uh, you know uh, it is doing an autonomous task. I don't need to convert to continue a conversation chain. It is automatically breaking down my whole task into three subtasks, like book a flight, check weather, and create itinerary. Then it access a flight booking API. Then it searched for the flight from New York to San Francisco. Then it found several options, and the best one also, it found that flight departing at 9 a.m. Then it confirmed the booking. Okay, and then it checked the weather, and also it is accessing the weather API. Then it accessing the weather forecast. Okay, then it creates an itinerary based on the weather and flight information, and also it creates an recommended activities for sunny weather. So if you see here, I have given a single input. I did not write anything else, but my agent did the job for me. Okay, so this is the overview of the generative AI. Now, as a QA engineer, okay, as an expert, how I can use it in my day-to-day tasks, right? So, if we look at my the QA life cycle, I'll be dealing with these terms, right? Test data, test cases, the defect, the automation, the test script, and test reports, and we can use the generative AI in all of the cases to make our job easier in the day-to-day life. Okay, so mostly why to use this generative AI, right? First one will say kind of the efficiency. We need to automate the repetitive testing tasks, and accelerate the test creation process. The coverage, like the coverage that we do, for example, we are having the user story. So when writing the test cases, are we covering the everything? Maybe are we taking the boundary value conditions while designing the test cases or not? Maybe we are considering both positive or negative. So it's kind of the sometimes it becomes error to human. Sometimes we forget, but if we try to generate the test cases, or we try to find out the coverage using the generative AI, there can be some condition, there might be some issue, some in some of the user stories you will find out that it will be generate something that might have missed by the human while designing the test cases. Then creativity, like we can discover the innovative test scenarios and the edge cases. Then the intelligence, like how to analyze the test results and suggest the improvement for future. And similarly, the accessibility one, like lower the barrier to the test automation. So if you see the QA life cycle, the very first one is the test planning. So we have to generate the test strategy, identify the test coverage requirement, and create risk-based testing plan that we can achieve with the help of the generative AI. So mostly test planning, we can go for the test strategy and the risk analysis. Similarly for the test design. So while during the design phase, we can go for the comprehensive test cases, scenarios, data requirements with the help of Gen AI. So test design we will be summarizing as test cases and test data. Test development phase, where we have to write the automation and we need to complete the automation within the sprint as well. Like we have to write it very fast, so it will be helping us in generating the automation testing script, fixtures and helper function to accelerate the test implementation. So test development means the test script and automation. Then in the execution phase, like optimize the test execution planning, prioritizing the test cases and generating the test data on the fly during the execution. Okay, so mostly the prompt engineering for the Q and all we'll see. So this is like how to write the effective prompts and all in the following session. Okay, uh, thank you everyone for joining, for watching this video. We'll continue next in the next video for the generative AI.